Townsville Grocery became a fixture in the community, and once Miss Jackie started cooking lunch, the store earned a reputation throughout North Texas. It was to become more than just a good place to eat.
We lived in the back of the store when we first opened it in '59. And of course, I always have cooked. Now, I guess I have to back up just a few minutes and tell you that when Jim and I first married, we lived in a little 2-room duplex, and our rent was $5 a week. Every time I think about it, I get a tickle. But I thought I wanted to tell you that, but the main thing I'm getting at here is that I cooked Jimmy some biscuits, and we had an oil stove. And have you ever seen the oil stove where you set the oven on top of the stove?
I have
on
no
the burner?
idea what that is.
Well, anyway, that's the kind of oven you had. You would take it and you would sit it on top of the burner. And then when you're not using the oven, you just take it and sit it aside, and then you would have 3 burners to use to boil stuff or whatever. But I cooked Jimmy these biscuits, and I don't remember what else was with it, but he was sitting in the kitchen eating, and I was in the front room. We only had 2 rooms. I was embarrassed to eat with him, so he had to eat by himself. I couldn't swallow my food. I guess I was so in love or something. I don't know what it was.
That's great.
I just couldn't.
Oh my goodness.
This one particular time, Jimmy was throwing those biscuits out the back door. They was too hard. They wasn't good. I thought I had really fixed up something great. So I was determined that I was going to learn to cook better. So I did start cooking better. And here in the store, I would always be cooking something all the time and running the store. And people would come in the front door and they would smell a pot of stew I had on cooking, or a pot of beans or something, and they would want to taste it. And so I would let them taste it, and finally the next day I would have maybe 2 or 3 people come in, and they would tell me, "Oh, so-and-so told me you really cooked some good stew. How about letting me try it," or something like that. And anyway, it wound up, by the time Jimmy would get home from work, there wouldn't be nothing left in the pots.
Oh no.
Not a thing. I would have given it all away, letting people taste it. So I got the idea of why not add more to the pots and start selling it. So I did. And that's how I started selling cooked food.
I've eaten here, so the food's wonderful, but there's more than just the food.
I think it's the fellowship, and then the atmosphere and how people are treated when they come here. I mean, I have people come in here dressed in suits out of their offices, and then I have the guys who dig the ditches come in. Everybody's treated the same, you see, and there is no difference made, and everybody is made to feel at home, and I guess that has something to do with it.
But cooking lunch wasn't the only thing that occupied Miss Jackie's time or her interest. There were church activities, events to honor the community's elders, and times with the family. And there were times to enhance the community that she called home. So she started the West Irving Young Adults Club, hosting dances and concerts to raise money for trips, and the West Irving Improvement Association. And she worked to get Bear Creek annexed into Irving to get much-needed services. Together with the people, Miss Jackie worked tirelessly to create the kind of community they could all be proud to call home.
But that West Irving Young Adults Club that we organized, we worked every year to raise money by selling pies, having dances for the kids, and having car washes, and just, I can't even remember all the things we didn't have. But I tell you what, every year, just before school started, around the Labor Day weekend, we had the money to hire us a 47-passenger bus and to take them to Austin, San Antonio, Mexico, or New Orleans, or somewhere. Took them out of here, get them out of Bear Creek, take them somewhere, let them see how other people do things and how other people live. We had the money because we raised it ourselves. We never asked nobody for nothing. Remember I told you the West Irving Improvement Association was organized so that it could work with the authorities to try to get help and get things for the community.
So you decided, you and the other people that were in leadership in this community decided that maybe the best way is not to go and burn something down, but to try to build something up.
That's right. You have to approach the ones that's got it positively, in a positive manner. And when you do, then I think you get positive results. I think my noticeable public service started at that PTA meeting, that particular one that I mentioned where they were going to close our school. And then after that, there was a couple of little small incidents that happened at the school where they sent our children. And so I was called upon by the principal to come and see what I could do. And I called my pastor, Reverend Stevenson, and he and I went over to the school. We spent 2 weeks at the school every day, going every morning. And of course, at that time, I had to pay somebody to run my store while I'm gone. But we took care of the situation, and everything worked out fine. There was this rumble one time, you may have already heard this story, that the kids, a couple of boys got into a fight out on the football field, I believe it was, and the white children outnumbered the black children like 20-1. And so, because they came from a small school, and they was kind of like thrown over there, and they hadn't had that environment, and so the black children started a rumor that they had people coming from West Dallas gonna come and help them, like the black Muslims or somebody, And so, what do they want to say that for? It started parents coming and taking the kids out of the school, the white parents, and maybe a few blacks too. But they started coming, taking the kids out of school. It was just a mess. And the principal, he just threw up both hands. He didn't know what to do because he couldn't talk to the kids. But anyhow, we worked all of that out, but we had to meet with the parents and meet with the kids, those kids who were involved in the little fracas and everything, And Reverend Stevenson and I, we had to stand in the halls every day when the classes changed, because that's where all the tension was. That's where the fights might break out. But anyway, to make a long story short, the end result was we got everything worked out. The principal and the kids and all of us, we met and met with the parents and everything, so everything worked out. The end result was we felt that the kids from this community needed someone that they could relate to. Like if they get in trouble and need somebody to talk to, they was not accustomed to go and talk to the principal who was white. So we said, we think we need a counselor, a black counselor. And that's where Mr. Aaron Day, he's retired now, but they put him in that position. Everything worked out okay.